Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. It's Alien Addict. Right, today is all about Vril and Maria Orsic. Yes, we're going there today. A very complicated subject, but nevertheless, we're going to get into it today. So I've got to hit a button. I always get confused, always get worried. I have it written down here. Right. Let's do this.
Do you think that this is just a cloudy day? This is a whiteout. Every morning we wake up to this lifeless sheet across the sky. The blue skies that we grew up with when we were younger, they're long gone. No clouds, no shape, no depth, just flat blinding glow like someone's decided to cover the heavens. This isn't weather. This is engineering. Aerosol trails spreading across the sky, sprayed, stretched and then settled, blocking the sun and the stars and maybe even the truth to what's going on up there.
We just put this idiot under.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Alien Addict. This is the show where we discuss all things UFOs and aliens, to the paranormal, and our pursuit into the mysteries of the unexplained. Welcome into the show. So, what a crazy week once again. It's just kind of a bloody break at the moment, isn't it? Everything's gone so bloody crazy. So, I'm taking a step back. Okay, right, that intro I showed you, all right? The trails in the sky, I'm not going to talk about it on Alien Addict, okay? I've decided I think it's a boring subject. So if you want to find more information about the trails in the sky analysis, come check out my other channel, Cosmic Twilight. I pretty much go upload twice a week, maybe, depends on what's going on in the sky. So I promise no more trail talk. No more, I promise. I promise. But anyway, let's get to chat because we've got a big show today. Rebecca, how's it going? Nice to see you. Welcome to the show. And yes, I've received your email after like a month. I do apologize. No one messaged me on that. I just get a load of spam and stuff. But yeah, thanks for messaging me. It's really, really nice to speak to you finally through an email. One True Saxon, how's it going, man? Nice to see you. Chillster, Corbell's cat, how's it going? Hey, Green Sea, nice to see you. Blue skies today. Yeah, it's been actually pretty good where I've been looking at the skies today. We've been doing a video, but I was like, it's a bit of a mixed bag. But yeah, welcome on in, Green Tea. Nice to see you. Oh, great Googalia. I'm butchering your name. Just going to call you Great. Welcome to the show. I'm a terrible reader. I'm going to admit that right now, so be warned. Rotary Matrix, welcome on in. Hey, John Strokes. Nice to see you, brother. Nice to see you. I think that is it. Oh, she pop up. Is anyone doing 20 miles an hour where you live? Who's this? Right, you're banned. Get out of here. Hey, Lionheart, if you're still here, nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. So yeah, today is all about a topic. Oh, Mods Mayhem, nice to see you. And Nathan from the Quantum Show. Welcome on in, brother. Welcome on in. Everyone, please subscribe to Nathan from the Quantum Show. Please, please, please. It's much appreciated. And you much appreciated as well. But yeah, welcome on in, brother. Welcome on in. Lolo from Rumble. Hey, we've got someone from Rumble. Am I live on Rumble? I must be. Yes, I've got a green tick right here, so I must be doing something. Yes, today it's about Vril. Right. Okay, well, before we get to Vril, I'm a history buff. Okay, I like a bit of history. Okay, so this is an old, basically in Bristol, this is an old hospital back in, it used to be built in the 16th century. Isn't it beautiful? Absolutely stunning. And then obviously the Germans came along and bombed the shit out of it. And now it looks like this. So this is what it used to look like. And now it looks like that, you know. And this is what really disappoints me about my city of Bristol, is that the fact that we were the 5th heaviest bombed during the Second World War because we were building all the artillery. But they just seem to leave all the buildings to either like tower blocks or empty landscapes. And it's pretty depressing to see, you know. When I went to Poland, when I toured Poland with my band, there's like old town and new town, and the new town is pretty much like new buildings, but more architectural, like the old buildings. And the old town, they basically reconstructed everything to what it used to look like. And it's a shame Bristol didn't do that. Kind of sucks, really. So yeah, that's a typical example. It used to be the busiest street, and Germans came along and bombed it, and now it looks like that. Pile of wank, isn't it? Yeah, welcome to Bristol. Yeah, when I talk about pareidolia, people didn't understand what I was actually talking about. Obviously, when it comes to like ghost photographs, you know, it's a bit like even looking at clouds as well. This is what I mean. That looks like a face, doesn't it? That's what I mean by pareidolia. Because some people understand what I was talking about. It's like when you see a cloud, it looks like a cat and a dog. But this it looks like a really creepy face. I can't think of what character that might be from a TV show. I'm not too sure. Yeah, skies. I thought that was a really nice photograph taken. Nothing nefarious about it. But I thought, yeah, that's pretty stunning, isn't it? And right, Glastonbury. Okay, I was going to play an intro, and I'm just going to loosely talk about it. Obviously, a lot of controversy about the event itself. I thought it's about music, but at the same time, when you look at it like Woodstock and any sort of music hippie festivals, because Glastonbury is a hippie festival when you look at it. Yes, you're going to get more or less politics and, well, say, fringe topics, you know, but what I've witnessed this year, obviously, we know about the rapper, the things that he said on the stage, which was quite. If a white guy said it, would be a different matter. You know what I mean? So I just find the outcome so far has been treated, especially from the BBC, absolutely terribly. Who knows what this bloody rapper is? No one knows who it is. I mean, is that what his name is? No, it's not. No, sorry. Hey, Asimo, how's it going, man? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Yeah, so this whole event I just found absolutely diabolical. And, you know, I'm glad the fact that what the outcome has come from this situation, what has been said, has turned out to what it is. Because I thought he was going to get away with it. But it just kind of really pisses me off. And I tell you what, this is a perfect quote from Neil Gallagher. I'm not a massive Oasis fan, to be honest with you. Okay, Wonderwall, and I tell you what, I've been listening to. I tell you what about music. Benjamin Manning Music. Nice to see you. Welcome on in. I've been listening to the Beatles. Okay, I don't know if I got my list from. I was supposed to say it last week. I've been listening to the Beatles like from beginning to end. Hey, Bob Lazar. Nice to see you, man. Welcome on in. So yeah, we'll get to that in a minute, but. Yeah, when it comes to Glastonbury, I just find it absolutely such a political bloody message. It really is. It's such a virtual signaling and telling people what to think and what to believe. I'm not really interested in anything. Hey, hangs tight. Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. I'm just really not interested in anything that comes out at Glastonbury, like I said, is too much of a political message, and this sums it up perfectly. Am I going to butcher this? Most probably. Glastonbury is, this is what Noel Gallagher says. So Glastonbury is getting a bit woke now. That place is a bit kind of preachy and a bit virtual signaling. I don't like that in music. Little fucking idiots waving flags around, and he said something else then, making political statements, and bands taking the stage saying, hey guys, isn't war terrible? Yeah, let's go bomb. Let's go all boo fuck war. The Tories, man. That's all it is. It looks fucking, I decided I was going to butcher it up. It looks play your fucking tunes and get the fuck off. Something like that. I knew I was going to butcher it, but basically that is a proper statement from a logical thinking man. I mean, Noel Gallagher, I mean, depends what you really think of him. Who was the other guy? He's a bit of a twat waffle, isn't he? Is it Liam Gallagher? Yeah, see, I know fuck all about Oasis. I know just their one song. At least someone agrees. Do you know what I mean? It's oh, you disagree with Noel? Oh, okay, fair enough, man. Fair enough. I mean, like I said before, Glastonbury, yes, it's more like a hippie ground for music. And yes, you're going to get political stuff, but nevertheless, from the clips I've seen, now I haven't, bear in mind, look, I sound a bit hypocritical here. I haven't seen the whole event itself. Sure, people might have a great time, but the clips that I've seen was a bit too like virtual signaling, telling people what to think and you know, and chanting outrageous stuff. Do you know what I mean? That's my opinion on that one. But yeah, I've never been into like Glastonbury. Hey, coffee stained mug, nice to see you. Welcome on in. So yeah, I don't know, guys. Do you guys listen to Glastonbury? Do you ever go to Glastonbury or anything that sort of music related? Because I find music shit these days. And to be honest with you, okay, you might get one or two bands that I might like. Right, Guilty Pleasure, 1975, a couple of tunes that I do like, a couple of them. The Sound. Oh god, it's been ages since I listened to them, but. Yeah, that's shit. Yeah. I would agree. I would agree. But it's mostly like the old bands are still floating about. I tell you what, that sounds really bad. They're one of my favorite bands in the world, and it's called Def Leppard. I love Def Leppard. Hysteria album is my top favorite of all time. But if you listen to Joey Elliott now, it's like, oh man, it's just like, oh, could you just like? It sounds like a pub band, like a pub covers band. Yeah. Hey, Mark Jeffries, how's it going? But don't worry, we'll get to Vril. But it was such in the limelight, this topic of what was said in the whole situation alone. But again, I don't really have a voice to say in it because I've never been to Glastonbury, so I don't understand the whole atmosphere. So I'm probably just full of shit, to be honest with you. The Prodigy sound okay at Glastonbury, what I saw on YouTube. Oh yeah, didn't the lead singer pass away a few years ago? Didn't he? Might have replaced him. Thing is, I don't really like watch it, to be honest, because I don't pay for my TV license, and I think the whole thing is pretty shit. Anyway, there you go. Hey, Sandy, nice to see you. Welcome on in. There you go, wicked dry mouth. First two Def Leppard albums were okay. Yeah, mine is more or less like Pyromania and Hysteria. Like I said, Hysteria is right up there in one of my favorite albums of all time. Absolutely, for sure. I went to Glastonbury tons in the 90s. Oh, that's cool. It'd probably be a different time back then, wasn't it? Probably had a bit more of a vibe because no one was on their bloody phones. Right, one more. Yes, Keith Flint was fantastic. Prodigy guy, sad, passed away by lovely man, apparently. Yeah, sorry, it's a word I can't say on YouTube. I've got to watch out for the words because of the algorithms. But yeah, it's sad, man. It's see, I quite like the Prodigy. What's the one that I really like? I think my boot camp teacher, Al, he keeps on playing it. It's like not Smack My Bitch Up. There was another one. I can't remember. Oh, these tunes. Anyway, yeah, good band. If you take ecstasy, I can imagine you have a really wicked time. Give me the Smiths any day. Fair enough, man. Yeah, no, one or two songs. It's a bit like the Beatles, like one or two songs from each album. I'm like, yeah, okay. I wouldn't have it on my playlist though, you know. But nevertheless, Firestarter. Yes, that's it. I couldn't think of the bloody word. Yes, Firestarter. That is a tune to bloody work out to. 100%. My friend paid a lot to see Sabbath tomorrow. Oh, fucking hell. Rebecca, how much is it? I'd be quite surprised because didn't I hear that Ozzy Osbourne wasn't too well? I heard he wasn't too well. Apparently, I mean he's plenty old. Have you heard him recently? Wish him all the best, though. I mean, fair enough. All these old rockers are still going. It's still nice to see because I think it's best to go see them now because the time it might not be that long. You know what I mean? Genesis, yes. Like with Phil Collins, he was there, sat down, bloody playing live, wasn't it? Obviously on the drums, but in the front stage. It's yeah, they're getting old, man. It's been like when I said, like, with Joey Elliott from Def Leppard, you listen to him now, it's like, oh, shit. It's just, I couldn't go see him live. I've seen him live once. I think that was good enough. Bearable. But actually, the videos of me, it's mostly me singing whilst the band's playing. Sounds fucking terrible. I think Ozzy Osbourne has Parkinson's. Oh, does he? Oh, no. Oh, are we not too sure? Well, about drugs, I mean, I can't blame drugs for Parkinson's, but the guy was heavily drugged up. Heavily. But yeah, Glastonbury, not for me. I got nothing to say about it because I've never been. So yeah. But it was part of the news. And I was going to play something in the intro about it. And I thought, you know what, I don't want to stir up shit. It was bad enough I played the bloody chem thing in the beginning. So, right, Vril. My God, what a mind fuck this is. No, seriously, honestly. One part of the German flying saucers, obviously this is part 4. Let's bring up the photograph of the stunning woman herself, Maria Orsic. Yes. The amount of people that get bonus for this woman is unbelievable. Hey, Kennedy. Oh, sorry. Kevin Kennedy. Welcome on in, brother. Nice to see you. Yes, he has Parkinson's. Oh, shit, man. Well, I think this is their final tour, so it would be good to get one last show out, you know. But no, fair play to the people that's going. I have to admit, fair play. So yes, she is like, even though she don't exist, but nevertheless, a heartthrob for many hard raging boners in ufology. Put it that way. Trust me. So Maria Orsic, the Vril Society. Yes, this is the whole part of. Yes, we all do, don't we? Yeah, the whole part of the German flying saucer program. We're talking about the anti-gravity side. So what I've done over the years, let's put it a bit bigger so you can see me move my hands about, is that I try to put the German flying saucer and disc conspiracy into categories. So the first one we did was the German flying discs. And then we did, I think we did the Bell and then Foo Fighters. So those 3 different categories. And then obviously the Haunabu and Vril and Maria Orsic. So everything's been split up. So I put everything into a timeline. Now, I should have talked about this on the last episode because the Haunabu and Vril flying saucers was all to do with Maria Orsic. So this is sort of like a catch up from last week. And I do apologize for the people in chat if I haven't brought your message up. It's just, I've got a presentation to deal with, and I can't multitask. I'm not like a woman. I can't do it. So we'll get to your chat at some point. So it's all about Maria Orsic today and the Vril Society. Right, first things first. Let me bring my notes because there is a history of Vril. Okay, there is a history to this, and let's go back to the beginning. So Vril and Maria Orsic, it sort of blends into one. All right. I'm going to explain something. All right, first things first. There is no mention of Maria Orsic before 1992. Okay, I've got so much publications right here, books and magazines and pamphlets and all types of publications from the past 70 years, dating back to the 1950s. Okay, anything to do with German flying saucers, I am on it. I don't care what the price is. I will buy it because I'm just that sort of researcher. I cannot find no information on Maria Orsic before 1992. But before we get to 1992, where the story really came out, let's just go back in time to the origins of Vril. I think this is extremely important to understand Vril, okay? Because it really goes back over 100 years. I'm just going to go through the history of this. So Vril is known as the life force, a bit like Chi, Prana, and Ki. Chi energy. Understand what that means? People use it in martial arts. It's more like a meditation sort of energy. And Vril is part of that. There's one aspect of Vril, you can trace it back to the origins of Sumeria and Iraq. This is the more, what's his name, Robert Speer or something like that. I'm a bit skeptical about the guy anyway, but you can go trace Vril and the Aryan race, because this is what we're going to be talking about today, back into the ancient Sumeria time, even to like Iraq and Sumeria. So from historical records and publications, Vril was really came out from a book right here. Okay, so we're going to go back from all the way back to 1871. All right, 1871, and this book here called The Coming Race by Edward Buer Lytton, and this is a science fiction novel. Okay, and this, like I said, this came out in 1871, so we're going back way over 100 years, and the whole plot of the story was a discoverer, basically like an Indiana Jones style character, found an underground civilization, advanced civilization called the Vril Ya. Okay, so it's Vril Ya, the Vril Ya. And these advanced civilizations had the power of Vril, which was either an energy or a liquid form that can actually power machines, power tools, psychic energy, telepathic energy, and can even kill people and destroy planets. This is how, okay, so just remember this. Just remember that concept, because it's extremely important for our way to go forward. Okay, so these concepts were brought up back in the 18th century. Vril as a life force, powering power tools, flying machines, etc. 1871, all right? Excuse me. So Edward Buer Lytton was known back in his earlier novels, back in 1842, called Xanion, and 1862 book called A Strange Story. And these were basically discussing electricity and methods of actually using some kind of life force into potentially a flying machine. Just remember that is so important. And he did a lot of like mystics and secret societies, a bit like I forget his bloody name now, Manly P. Hall sort of style guy that really looked into the esoteric side and putting the symbolisms together, a bit like a Jordan Maxwell, but this is going back into 1871. Okay, so this is the stories and novels that he created, and obviously he created this, The Coming of the New Race. So the Vril Ya, advanced civilization that was being discovered. Okay, so we're moving forward. Yeah, this is obviously what we're talking about today, the Hannibal and Vril flying saucers. I think I got that picture wrong. I think so. So moving forward to 1877 and 1888 to Helena Blavatsky, book called Isis Unveiled, which came out in 1877, and Secret Doctrine that came out in 1888. She does mention Edward Buer Lytton's book, which is the book that I showed you before. But Vril, she kind of uses it in a past tense. All right, she's using it as, in a way, as like a life force. So she does sort of mention it, but as the Vril Society and Vril itself, she kind of like loosely talks about it in, like I said, in a past tense, and it is not really the central focus of her book. I haven't read The Secret Doctrine at all, so I've use various sources to get information on this one. So bear with me. So yes, obviously Helena Blavatsky, she was part of, well, she's the creator of the Philosopher's Society, and she had a lot of sort of Western Asian religion sort of, she studied in that sort of aspect of the religion aspect of like Asian Western sort of religious occults as well, I believe. I might be talking shit here. I've used AI in this. Hey, I see someone called Grace. How's it going, Grace? Nice to see you. And hey, and if we've got Edward Ward. Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. Yeah, sorry for people in chat. If I'm paying attention, I do apologize. I've got so much to go through in my notes over here. So, like I said, she has mentioned this in her book, but sort of loosely upon on it, basically. So there, this is The Secret Doctrine. So this is going back into the 18th century, late 18th century. All right. So obviously she mentions like terms like prana, stellar light, and astro projection and stuff like that. But again, Vril loosely talked about it. Okay, so skipping forward to this book here by William Scott Elliott called The True Story of Atlantis and the Lost Lemuria. which came out in 1896. So we're still going back into the 18th century here. So yes, this book is a story of a compilation edit of 2 esoteric works by William Scott Elliott. So the original published in the late slow down, Nick, slow down. Published in the late 19th to early 20th century, these books present a philosophical account of ancient lost continuance in Atlantis and Lemuria, claims to reveal their history, civilization, and eventual destruction. And this is going back into 1896. And I do believe at that time, Atlantis was pretty much talked about in books. Obviously, we're still skeptic about it today and still speculating where it could be. I know Graham Hancock has done quite a lot of research into this and trying to find where this is. So even going back into the late 18th century, you do have these accounts, all right? So he mentions in this book that Vril force is used to propel aircraft. All right, so we got this concept again, the Vril force, which is, like I said, chi or prana, like the life force, is actually used to power aircraft. And this is so important to mention. So we got it again mentioned once again. And skipping forward to this book here, Panic in Paris. This is a French book written by Jules Lermenia, whatever. I screwed that up completely. And she included the obviously Vril power for flying machines in her 1910 novel called Panic in Paris. And this mystical energy that was, and she called it the Vrillium. All right, so we've got Vril in there as well. So Vrillium, this is the mystical force that was there to power flying machines, and that's come from this book from 1910. And this is what I find quite interesting, right? Remember going back to the first book, Edward Buer Lytton's book, The Coming Race, that came out in 1871. Well, believe it or not, there was an actual party held at the Royal Albert Hall from the 5th to the 10th of March in 1891. I am not joking, okay? And this was called the Vril Bazaar. And I can't even pronounce that. So this basically, yeah, it's called the Vril Bazaar, which was it's like the first science fiction conference where all these nerds got together, because Edward Buer Lytton's book, The Coming in the Race, was very, very popular back in that time period. And they had a massive party and everyone dressed up in fancy dress costumes. It's a really, really bad photograph of it. Sorry, a terrible photograph. It's the pixels don't match. Yeah, you go figure. So yeah, this is quite an interesting party back in 1891. So once again, this book really put stuck into the consciousness of people. And I find it really, really fascinating that the fact that they had a massive party in a Royal Albert Hall celebrating the science fiction novel of The Coming of the Race. So yeah, it was like the first science fiction conference. So yeah, that's a real thing, a real thing. But this is where it gets interesting. Not a lot of people know about this. Oh yeah, happy 4th of July as well, and happy 420. I shall do that. Hey, S23, welcome on in, man. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Consciousness is the key. Put in the ignition. Nice. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like that very much. Welcome on in, brother. Or sister. Nice to see you. So this book here, well, it's not really a book, it's a pamphlet that came out in 1930. So we've gone from late 18th century to 1910 to Julia Lemar's book, that Panic in Paris, and then we skip forward to this. Now, I must stress, if you see this publication, just say to the people that put this publication forward, what does the title say? They'd be like, well, it's real, isn't it? I'm like, yeah, but what is the book? What does that say? Well, it talks about the Vril Society. Like, no, don't. So what this book is called, now listen to what I'm about to say, because you're going to go, right. This is called Vril, the Cosmic Primal Force, Rebirth of Atlantis. Again, we got Atlantis being brought up again in this 1930 book, which actually came out in Germany. So let's talk about this. So this is called, well, there's two illustrations of this. My Google Translate says Vril, the cosmic primal force, rebirth of Atlantis. But some people say it's the cosmic primal elementary power, rebirth of Atlantis, that came obviously in 1930. This was written by a Berlin-based group. Now, I think they dealt with a lot of esoteric sort of, a bit like the Tula Society. And I'll talk about the Tula Society in a minute. A lot of esoteric knowledge sort of being studied at that time period. So yeah, this book here needs to be very careful on how people put this out, saying, "Oh, this proves that the Vril Society was real," and it really doesn't. It really doesn't. So this is a short occult esoteric pamphlet. It's only like 25 pages long, exploring the idea of Vril, the mystery universe energy. Okay, we've got that energy source again, and its connection to Atlantean resurgence. So we've got Atlantis being brought up in there. So it sounds like a science fiction novel, but it kind of blends in a lot of older publications that came before that and sort of rebranded it as a new, hence pretty much what the internet is today, really. So at this time, the booklet includes sections of Atlantis, world dynamism, well, screw that word up, and a version of a new spiritual technology age in Germany. All right, so remember that. Look, bear in mind, guys, there was a lot of spooky groups going on in Germany at the same time. Well, talking about like 1919 when we're talking about the Tula Society. So again, once we have mention of mystical force, the mystery universal energy, that is Vril. Okay, so just remember that. So the Vril Society doesn't get mentioned in this publication. Does not get mentioned at all. This is the other thing. It mentions Vril, but not Vril Society. And we should get to the Vril Society in a short time. 2 seconds. Out. Excuse me. Okay. I think we can skip that. Okay, so this is 1930. Sorry, guys, for the pause. Let's move forward to 1960 to this book, The Morning of the Magicians, by French authors which I cannot pronounce. Like I can bloody speak anyway. Hold on. Where are you two? You're here somewhere. Where are you two? I did have this book somewhere. Okay, that's a bit odd. Oh, there it is. You're at the bottom of the pile, mate. I can see this going everywhere. Hold on. Okay. Right. Sorry about that. Do apologize. So I have read this book. I have it right here. Look, this is the original book right here. It was fairly cheap to get. I think this might be the second edition. Okay. Well, yeah, I have the book right here. So this is the first mention, Mule Cock and Fresh, of the Vril Society. Yes, the Vril Society itself. Let's bring up notes. So The Morning of the Magicians, that came out in 1960. In this book, written by the names are there. I can't pronounce it. Again, this was first published in 1960 in France. It often considers the foundational text in the realm of occultism, speculative history, and pseudoscience. Ooh, AI, you lovely, jubbly, sometimes fake and gay. So the themes and context of this. So The Morning Magicians blends history, science, and the occult, and speculative philosophy. Yes, it suggests that there is a hidden or forbidden forms of knowledge that is shaped human history in ways not recognized by mainstream science or history. Some type of major themes include ancient civilizations and lost knowledge, I've got to say it now, Nazi occultism and alleged secret societies, obviously the Vril Society, alchemy and mysticism, I screwed that word up, UFOs and extraterrestrials, intelligence, paranormal phenomena, alternative scientific theories such as those of Charles Fort. So you can see in this book from 1960, there are a lot of occultisms and UFOs. And do you know what? It's quite a fascinating book. It's pretty cheap on Amazon or eBay. If you want to go check it out. It's obviously in English. It's all in English, so you can go read to your heart's content. But it does mention the Vril Society. No Maria Orsic. No Maria Orsic, okay? But it does talk about the Vril Society, not necessarily powering flying machines. It's just a society that basically looked into the mysticism of Vril, the life force, the life energy. There we go. So yeah, that's 1960. So moving forward, this is where it all starts, baby. You want to? Hey, comfy sofa. Nice to see you, brother. Nice to see you. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. So yes, this is where it all started. And like I mentioned in my previous live streams I did, I was searching. Sorry, I should be speaking into the microphone. I've been searching for this book called The Vril Project right here. It took me about over 10 years to get this, baby. All right. This is where it all started. You want to know about Maria Orsic? You want to know about the Vril Society, what it is, the Vril Society these days, and anti-gravity, handling flying saucers. This is where it all started. It came from 1992. And this is an exact date from my research anyway. And I think other researchers would say the same. If you want a full translation of this book, it came out in 1992. Two Austrians created this, and they are the creators of what we know today as German flying saucers, what we're seeing here as Hannibal and Vril. So these two Austrians were Norbert Jürgen Rathofer and Ralph Ettel. These two also co-written two documentaries back in the early 90s, I think late 80s, early 90s, called UFO Secrets of the Third Reich, and another one called UFO Secret German Flying Saucers of World War II, otherwise known as UFOs The Third Reich Strikes Back, which is the German version. Every single version you can find on my Cosmic Twilight channel, including a full translation of this book right here. This is where it all starts, guys. This is where the blueprints, the crappy photographs that we talked about in the last part 3. Hey, Steve White, nice to see you. Welcome on in, brother. Welcome on in. So yeah, this is where it all starts from 1992. So when you say, so anyone says, "Oh, where did Maria Orsic come from?" and say, "Well, Nazi Nick says it's from 1992," and you can back it up by actual proof. Yeah, so I have no idea if this is actually real or not. I'm not talking about the tits. I'm talking about this photograph here, because we're going to get to Maria in a minute. My God, it's all over the place. Oh, yeah. Check this out. Look, Bovril, apparently, if you take away the B and the O, you got the word Vril. Maybe, just maybe, the life force is in Bovril. Maybe we should start eating Bovril with crumpets, everybody. Absorb that key energy, the Vril energy. And then maybe Maria Orsic will come to me. Sad git. Bovril kind of tastes like, I prefer it to Marmite. I have to admit, that on crumpets is absolutely gorgeous. Stop talking about food, Nick, for Christ's sake. Bear in mind, I made a banging curry before this, like homemade curry. So my whole house smells like an Indian takeaway at the moment. So yes, the Vril Society and Maria Orsic. I think we need to go back to my notes. Okay, the Vril Society. I'll tell you what. Let's bring up a proper good photograph. Hold on, guys. 2 seconds. Oh, we just skip ahead. I'll tell you what. We'll just do that. Okay. This is the Vril Society logo. Once again, I've got to stress, I cannot find this anywhere. And I'm talking about anywhere before 1992. It all starts from this book, right? That symbol, all right? So this is the Vril Society symbol. Obviously, it's shaped like a V. Go figure. So the beginning of the Vril Society itself. Right. Okay. This is where Bovril alien tech sounds legit. You can actually eat it, Bob, believe it or not. It's actually quite nice with a bit of butter and crumpets. So yeah, right. Vril Society is, oh my God, I tell you what, this has been doing my head in for so many years. Because as we got the birth of the internet, it is literally all over the place. And I'm talking about all over the place. Vril was a very basic concept. But we need to take the concepts that we looked at going back for the past 100 years, going back to Edward Buell-Leighton's book in 1871 called The Common Race, Life Force, Power and Fly Machines, Advanced Civilizations have telepathic communications. Very, very important. So the Vril Society was based upon, that was set up in, I tell you what, sod it. I've got videos here. Here we go. It just makes it easier for me because I want to go 420. Right, let's bring up a good video so it can actually explain to you and I can talk about it. So this is on my Cosmic Twilight channel, UFO's Secrets of the Third Reich. Bring us up. And it's going to talk about the Vril Society, where it all started from. Let's do this.
Also see the development of positive knowledge, which would lead to the creation of a comprehensive technology.
Welcome on in.
And once again, our search for clues in our quest for the alternative technology, supposedly responsible for the German UFOs, which would appear later, led us back to Vienna, to the year 1917.
1970.
4 men and a woman met here in the Viennese cafe Schopenhauer. The young Maria Orsic, a spiritualistic medium from Zagreb.
Zagreb, right. Really, 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 really important. This, ladies and gentlemen, hold on. That is the first, and I'm talking about the first ever sketch or picture, hand-drawn picture of Maria Orsic. She looks like a flipping quail, no offense. But yeah, this is where it all starts from. This, like, we'll get to other pictures as well, but this is the first one being popularized as Maria Orsic, all right?
The young Maria Orsic, a spiritualistic medium from Zagreb. The student and fighter pilot Lothar Weitz. The occultist, orientalist, and officer Karl Haushofer. Rudolf von Sebottendorf, an occultist who had recently returned from the Orient, as well as Prelate Gernot from the Order of Knights Templar. Their subject was the coming of the New Age. They spoke of secret revelations, the spear of destiny, the magical violet black stone. They discussed the possibility of making transmedial contact with the ancient Germanic and Babylonian deities, Ishtar, Ostara, and Isais, and of communicating with distant worlds, not only on this side, but also on the other. It is quite likely that this coffeehouse meeting witnessed the birth of the secret Tula Society, which in turn later spawned the German National Socialist Party, the SS, Black Sun, and the Vril Society, which in its turn gave a foundation to the occult activities of the Third Reich and the new comprehensive technology, and the beginning of German UFOs.
Okay, right, fantastic. Thank you very much for explaining that. So basically what we have here, guys, is the Vril Society was set up in 1917 or 1919, I can't remember which one it was. So you had political opponents and occult philosophers, for instance, Karl Haushofer, Dietrich Eckart, and Rudolf von Sebottendorf. A lot of these players really gave birth to the occult philosophy of the Nazi Party. Oh my God, Nick, the Nazi Party, the Third Reich. Okay, so these people were involved in something called the Tula Society or Tula Gesellschaft. The Vril Society, there's not a lot of German publications of that. It's all to do with speculation on this part, okay? So these people, Maria Orsic, Rudolf von Sebottendorf, Karl Haushofer, and Dietrich Eckart, came together to talk about occultism, like the spear of destiny, the magical black stone, you know, all these sort of strange, even like Thor's hammer, you know, these really strange legends back in the day that was brought up quite a lot back in Germany, believe it or not, and especially Vril. All right, Vril was talked about at that time. All right, so this is what the society was. Now going forward, let's just click play because this is where it leads into German flying saucers. So we need to talk about Maria Orsic. So we explain what the society is. I need to talk about Maria Orsic and her beautiful, lovely sisters. Yes, she has sisters with long hair as well. Okay, so we get to that. So I'm going to click play, and if you've got a drink, drink a drink. come full 420 with me. I probably should because I can't even bloody speak properly. But yeah, anyway, let's just carry on with this and yeah, see what it says.
What was the secret behind it all? The invincible source of power for
Shit, I can't play that. The music. Fuck it, let's do it anyway.
them was the black sun,
Right.
an infinite beam of light which, although invisible to the human eye, was nevertheless there and very real. Just as the bright daylight sun can illuminate the exterior, so the dark sun can light up the soul of man. It illuminates the divine light.
Good point, Nathan.
To this very day, the occult philosophy of the Third Reich is
420,
veiled
everyone.
under a thick cloud of mystery and secrecy. Its leaders were drawn from the ranks of the Tula Society and the SS. In many ways, their ideas differed significantly from the accepted National Socialist Party line. Their emblem was the black sun. A secret philosophy thousands of years old provided the foundation on which the occult practitioners of the Third Reich would later build. The black sun symbol can be found in many Babylonian and Assyrian places of worship. Even the Phoenicians and the Carthaginians knew of the symbol and the beliefs that it represented. The Babylonian and Assyrian civilizations often depicted the black sun, the Godhead's inner light, in the form of a cross. Assyrian kings wore an insignia which in no way differed from the one more commonly known as the German Knight's Cross. This means the origin of this cross is many thousands of years older than Christianity. We have no way of knowing just what exactly was going on in the minds of the occultists of the Third Reich, and to what mysterious ends their ideas would lead them. Perhaps they believed in the ancient prophecy of the New Babylon, which would rise again in some unspecified central...
Oh man, I'm so gonna get a copyright for that music. But at that time, guys, look, this is an actual parade, and you could see during when Hitler was in power, the parades that they had. Let's just turn this down a bit. It almost is like going back to like Babylon, isn't it? When you look at it. So I believe at that time period, the 1930s, I think Mustachio Man himself banned Christmas. And they went back to this like pagan style celebration. And copyrighted.
In 1919, von Sebottendorf joined with Karl Haushofer and Dietrich Eckart to form the Tula Society.
Thank you. Perfect segue. Right, the Tula Society. Right, so the people get confused by the Tula Society and the Vril Society. Okay, the Tula Society. Where are you two? Where is these? There we go. Right. So before we talk about how the plans of the Howden Boom Vril flying saucers came about, let's just talk about the Tula Gesellschaft, because there is a confusion basically what the society was. So this was an actual real society, unlike the Vril Society. Just got to say something now. I mean, it's in terms of actual publications, we actually have some sort of documentation that the Tula Society or Tula Gesellschaft. Now, Gesellschaft means society or organization in Germany. All right. So this organization was set up in 1919, and it had people like Rudolf von Bottendorf, Karl Haushofer, Dietrich Eckart. I believe Rudolf Hess was part of this as well, and I believe might be Himmler himself, because it dealt with a lot of occult aspects. And one aspect of this was actually to find the lost civilization of Germany, which was the Aryan race. And this is where it really started from, like 1919, this sort of time period. And it sort of obviously brought up into like the 1920s and 30s, and it sort of blended into the Third Reich's philosophy. So this is where it really started from, guys. The whole Aryan, blonde hair, blue eyes, blonde hair, pale skin, sort of gorgeous looking people, a bit like Maria Orsic when you want to look at it that way. these sort of Aryan race that they were talking about, and they wanted to find the Aryan race. And I do believe in the 1920s there was a society, not a society, no, it was a society or an organization that basically went to Tibet, and it was called the Anunnab. And this was an organization set by Rudolf Hess, or might have been Hermann Goering actually at that time. And they sent out a whole patrol of like German surveyors and scientists to actually like analyze the Tibetans, and you can see them actually like measuring their skulls to see whether or not they're actually back to the Aryan race. And this is where you can trace the Aryan race from. I mean, a lot of the Nazi philosophy is based upon the Hindu religion. I mean, if you look at the symbol of the swastika, it's technically a Hindu symbol. It's just the Germans just flipped it, they inverted it. But really can trace back a lot of philosophy of the Third Reich back to Hindu religion. They just sort of brought up a lot of that aspect of that religious aspect. And I think the Germans twisted it and made it their own thing. That's from my research. I might be wrong on that one. So the Tula Gesellschaft were a very prime example of a society that was set up to really bring birth to very occult aspects into the Third Reich. And Dietrich Eckart, I believe, was the guy who brought Hitler into the charismatic leader that we knew him because of this guy. Now, apparently his journals were found after his death. Don't quote me on that one. But it's a deep dive. Do you know what really just like annoys me with mainstream historians? That they say that, oh, the Germans back in World War II, before then, they never looked into the occult aspect. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, we got the flipping Tula Society. It's well documented. The Anunnab Society. I mean, the trips to Tibet and everything like that. It's just like, you cannot say that. I mean, look at Himmler alone. You had a flipping three-sided castle, dressed to, I mean, he was well into the occult. I mean, to say that for the historians, mainstream historians saying they didn't do that is total nonsense. Total nonsense. So I just want to describe that society, and the same opponents, people that were in here, like I said, Rudolf von Bottendorf, Karl Haushofer, Dietrich Eckart, they were apparently part of the Vril Society as well. I hope everything I just said made sense. I don't think it did, but anyway, move on. Because it's not going to be the first time or last time I'm going to be talking about Vril. Put it that way. So this organization in what was it to? I screwed my notes up. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, so this organization was set up in Munich in 1919. This is talking about the Vril Society. So I think we need to talk about Maria Orsic herself and the Vril Society. That's a nice picture of Maria Orsic. We see a lot of this online. Let's find a better one. Yeah, there we go. That's the Maria. Oh, no, you can't even see it. Stupid idiot. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Everyone gets bonus for this woman. It's unbelievable. So, what we're going to do. So, the Vril Society was obviously set up in 1919. Maria Orsic and the other people, part of the organization as well, were looking into telepathic communications to the Aryan race. And this is where Maria Orsic came into the fruition, and also her seven psychic sisters. All right. Let's go back. So yeah, Maria Orsic, according to legend, i.e. the internet, Maria Orsic was born in Zagreb. Look, trust me when I say that one. All right, Zagreb. In 1895, she contacted the Vril Society to ask to become a member because she had telepathic communication skills, apparently. I mean, quotation marks. So Maria herself and her other 7 long-haired women, which is there. Okay, now you tell me whether or not those photographs are legit. All right. Yeah, legitimate photographs from the 1920. Yeah, from 1922 and 1945. I doubt that very much. That hairstyle looks like it's from like flipping 80s. like a L'Oreal sort of flipping hairstyle. But anyway, we just run through it. We'll run through it. So I've heard about that. That's actually quite interesting, Nathan. If I can go, yeah, absolutely. This is what you will find with a lot of photographs, and we need to go for the photographs today, especially from Maria Orsic. So her 7 sisters were also had the ability to communicate with advanced Aryan race. Okay, so Maria, where are you, baby? Go away, Bovril. Outdo. So Maria Orsic herself, she is the one that had the communication powers, or she had the power to telepathically communicate to an advanced civilization 68 million light years away in a constellation of Taurus, and this planet was called Aldebaran. All right, and this is where the Aryan race lived. Okay, so she was getting telepathic communications from the planet Aldebaran, which was 68 million light years away. Now, sorry, I'm going to say this, but Aldebaran sounds like Alderaan from Star Wars. You know, Princess Leia's planet, Alderaan. It sounds like flipping Alderaan from Star Wars, mate. I'm going to be honest with you, Nathan. So yeah, this is apparently she had the skills to actually do this, to actually communicate with the advanced civilization, and this is where she managed to have. Did you know? Fun fact: she invented Bovril. Stupid thing to say, but anyway, she is the one that had the blueprints. She is the one that had the skills to actually write things down. And when she was writing these blueprints down in basically different languages and writing, which I'll bring up in a minute, she written it in 2 different languages here. And one of them was in a Templar German secret language, and I'm not too sure what that might be. And the second one was an ancient Sumerian language, which I'm going to show in a minute. But nevertheless, the communications she had managed to build these anti-gravity flying saucers, or the technical side of how to build these anti-gravity flying saucers. And this is from the book I have here, the Vril Project, otherwise known as the Vril Project. So what we're dealing with here is Haunebu and Vril. I should have stressed this before. So this is a alleged photograph. Go back to part 3 if you want to see all the photographs of the Haunebu and Vril flying saucers. But today we're going to be talking about obviously a little bit of the blueprints here. This Haunebu 2 was 200 feet in length, and this is anti-gravity. This is the whole purpose of these flying saucers. So inside the flying saucer itself was a circular barrel, and inside it had a gyroscope that rotated really, really fast. And that is the whole concept of how these flying saucers flew, allegedly. Underneath here, you can see the tank. Obviously, like gun turrets underneath. Kind of looks like George Zansky's flying saucer. Actually, practically the same, isn't it? When you look at it, if you look at the date here, this is called the SS. I can't even pronounce that. And this is called SSE4 in the other terms of it. I can't pronounce the actual German language itself. But SSE4 was the department where they actually designed and built these flying saucers. All right. And this was obviously dated 7th of November, 1943. So Haunebu 1 was around about 1941. So they supposedly had this technology from 1941, apparently. And this is the second version here. This is the third version. I would love to write something like that. Oh, hold on. Where are we to? Nathan, you put something really important. It's pronounced Aldebaran. I probably even screwed that up as well. So yeah, these flying saucers was allegedly built. This is the mothership. This is like the cigar-shaped craft, and this is called the Andrometer. All right, this is all built by and hand-drawn by Maria Orsic herself, apparently. So yeah, here it is. These carry the Haunebu. You see a Haunebu right there, and you've got 2 Vril craft, and there are like some sleeping compartments there. These are obviously the anti-gravity drives that made this aircraft flew, and this was called the Andrometer machine. Apparently was left in the Zeppelin hangar because this is a massive craft, apparently, allegedly. So there we go. There are some more documentations. Apparently, these were all on A3 pieces of paper, but I have not seen the original. I have not seen the original at all. So yeah, that's what Maria Orsic did. She actually the toilet's supposed to be fake. Brilliant. So yeah, this is Maria Orsic's story in a nutshell. She had telepathic communications to advanced civilization 68 million light years, and they to an advanced civilization called Aryans. And they gave her the messages to actually build the flying saucers that we know as Hannibal and Vril, and not the German scientist. All right, so that, in a nutshell, guys, is Maria Orsic's story. Okay, her 7 sisters, wherever they are. Now, apparently, according to the internet, right, because it's not really mentioned in any of my books, it's mostly the internet, is that the reason why they had long hair, super long hair, like this one right here, is because the long hair acts like a antenna, so it's easy for them to communicate with extraterrestrials. I am not joking. I am literally not joking. It's how weird it gets, because the more and more I research the Vril Society and Maria Orsic online, there is so much stories that has been twisted, because I've read the original book, and I think, let's bring it up. Let's go back to Cosmic Twilight channel, and we can go through a few things. Which is that one now? Fantastic. Look at that. So, what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, is the full English translation of this book, because it's all in German. So I translated everything, and it actually has a AI voice. Yes, lucky bastard. This is apparently what Maria Orsic writ on the paper. Okay, the AI couldn't even recognize it. So this is the temple script. Right. First things first. If anyone's new to this channel, I am a terrible reader. Once I 420, I am a terrible reader. So if you get offended or you can't bear it, just mute, read it for yourself, or just switch off. Either one, don't really care. So this is a temple script, historically a medieval German secret script. Was repeatedly considered by esoteric to be the medley The thing is with AI, sometimes it don't make sense.
Considered by esotericists to be the medially transmitted script of the Aldebarans.
Thank you.
Bavaria's secret writing or Aldebaran.
Right.
Maria Orsic.
Okay. Right. This lady right here is... Actually, no, I take that back. This is the first picture of Maria Orsic, because this came out in 1992, and that documentary that I showed you with the sketch of Maria Orsic, I believe, was in 1994. So this is the first picture of Maria Orsic. Looks nothing like what we've been seeing. We'll get to that in a minute. Her real name apparently was Maria Orticius. Fucking don't know. And she was not part of the Vril Society. No. Read it there. She was a medium for the Tula Society. And Zigrun, right at the bottom there, was a medium for the Vril Society. So Gez means gazelle shaft. All right. So am I going to make an attempt to read this? No.
Medium of the Tula Society.
Let's go back.
The eyewitness reports that Maria Orsic, medium of the Tula Society. The eyewitness reports that appear in the daily newspapers about the occult phenomena observed in seances arouse the curiosity of readers who have little or no knowledge of this area and provide them with material for conversation for several hours. The spiritualist, who is otherwise not considered to be of equal intellectual standing and is therefore usually avoided, suddenly becomes topical. The desire for sensationalism makes him the focus of the most controversial questions about the possibility or impossibility of the phenomena described, only to finally land on the main question, the core of the sudden interest. Couldn't I see something like that for once? As an incentive to convert the questioner more intensively, it is added with half resignation that belief can only be gained when something is seen.
And the photographs, if you think they're
Unfortunately,
real.
seeing and touching, not thinking, are always the most important thing. Apparent perception without the firm will to objectively search for the cause and purpose of events has no meaning and only leads to fantastic superstition and thus to a total misunderstanding of the facts. I will spare myself the trouble of providing evidence for the above claim and assume that every reader knows the Old Testament from the so-called Holy Book of the Bible sufficiently to be able to
Oh my
appreciate
God.
the enormous significance of such misunderstood facts.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm falling asleep here. So, right. If you want to see this, this is part 3 of the Vril project, or otherwise known as the Dad's Vril project, for translation. I think I've got like 7 parts on there for you to read for yourself. So, basically, this is just saying what I've been talked about, that Maria Orsic. She was part of the Tula Society, first of all, and Sigrun was part of the Vril Society. But Maria Orsic in this book was more or less going between the Tula Society and the Vril Society. Okay. But now we're saying no, she was actually part of the Vril Society. It's like, no, if you go back to the oh, pardon me, sorry. If you go back to the original translation of the book, you can see through here that she was actually from the Tula Society. But people who do 5 minutes of internet research tell me, it's like, no, she was part of the Vril Society, Maria Orsic. It's like, no. If you actually look back through the original manuscript, which is right here, it's saying, and you can see it on screen, and I've just literally knocked all the books over. You can clearly see that Maria Orsic was from you can see it there, Tula Society, medium of the Tula Society. And then the internet came along and really sort of twisted a lot of things. I could go into a lot of theories into the Vril Society, but I'm going to be honest with you guys, it is so all over the place. It really is, man. Hey, Dan, nice to see you, man. I think you're new into the show, but welcome on in, brother. Welcome on in. I hope things are making flipping sense because I'm confusing myself either as well. So, yeah, this is such a complicated scenario to deal with because you know me, guys. I want to have a realistic perspective on any information I get. If something is fake and gay, I'm going to say it. If I smell bullshit, I'm going to say, right, I smell bullshit, and here's why. I'm just finding this aspect of the German flying saucers too confusing and just too fake. It's just too fake for me. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to explain something here. You've got to put things in perspectives, guys. Okay, it's where you're getting this information from, who's giving this information, and why am I receiving this information? And there's something I'm going to bring up now. I think it's really important. I'm going to grab the photograph of Maria Orsic. I tell you what, let's bring up that photograph because that gives a more clear perspective to understand what I'm talking about. So when we talk about Maria Orsic, guys, pick which one. Literally pick which one. Because if what I showed you here was original photograph, how is that from 1920s or 1919 or early 20s? It's not. Here's another one. That's flipping Kate Moss. Someone's literally cropped a picture of Hitler, scrubbed the face out, and literally put Kate Moss's face on there. We're going to get to that in a minute. Here's another one. That is a common one that gets shown all the time. And that one, look, you look at those two. They look completely different. This is what it just really annoys me to say that Maria Orsic was real. Well, I'm sorry to say, well, no, I'm not sorry to say this. I've got to be honest. She don't exist. There is no public record of her existence anywhere from first mention of her, like I said, was from 1992. There is no original photographs. There is no birth certificate. And then to say that, oh no, they scrubbed all the documents after World War II. I'm sorry, that's an excuse. I just have to think realistically here. I'm going to so you tell me which one is the right photograph. Bring something up here. I look at both sides of the story. Come on, you want to come up? Come on. Quickly. Good boy. Right. So my cat will sulk like a little bitch if he doesn't come up on my lap. So with me, I look at both sides of the story. You know, skeptics and hardcore bloody conspiracy theorists. I look at both sides and I try to make a rational conclusion. If you have a look at this photograph here, I've actually got it on my archive here. Yeah, I do actually. Right. Okay, I'm going to come out of that. So I'm going to show you something. I need to show you this photograph proper up close. Because I don't like to be taken for a ride. Now, you tell me, did someone literally crop his face out and put Kate Moss's face in there? It's the same photograph. Look, arms folded, badge, crease. I mean, this is so stupid. And I keep seeing this photograph being pushed over and over and over again. I'm going, guys, just do a bit of research. Put things in perspectives. And the thing is it's the evidence that I find it's really lack of. What I'm about to show you here is Tino Struckman. Anyone who knows Tino Struckman Battlefields, he's a German army historian, a war historian. He goes through all the old battlefields back in Germany. And even he went into the National Archives and trying to find Maria Orsic and the Vril Society. Even Peter Lavender, who I love to interview, has done the same thing, and he cannot find nothing. Just listen to this.
Did I tell you what I found out about looking into Maria Orsic and the Vril Society?
No.
We believe that Maria Orsic was this gorgeous long-haired woman, along with her other gorgeous long-haired friends. Now you start looking through the archives, you start looking through all the tests from the war, you start looking at the documents. You have books written about Maria Orsic and by Maria Orsic. There's a problem with this.
She doesn't exist.
No, she never existed. She wasn't born.
I know.
All the photos are doctored. One of the photos of her are actually a picture of Hitler with a woman's head and hair. I mean, for the love of Christ. The Vril Society, I can't find, it's not inexcusable that they existed, but, I mean, there's no papers from the war that mentions her or the Vril Society or before that.
So there we go. That is from historian. You gotta it makes you laugh. You know, guys, you are gonna get a 100% honesty from me. Okay. Look, as much as I love Maria Orsic to be real, there is just no evidence of her existence. There really is none. There is just claims and speculations and people thriving around getting boners over people who claim to be part of the Vril Society. I can't mention who I'm talking about, but this is what I'm dealing with here. I'm trying to get a perspective here. I've got more photographs I can show because it's like I said, it's all over the place. I can talk for death about the Vril Society, but I don't want to feed you bullshit. It's not what I want to do. You know, I think I've talked enough bullshit as it is because nothing can be backed up. It's all. I could give you a perspective. What I talked about today about the Vril Society, Maria Orsic having communication powers, telepathic communication powers to the advanced civilizations that created the flying saucers, all in this book. Everything else after that is absolute total horseshit. Good point. Books. Right. Oh my God. So. Oh my God. Right. Okay, we're going to get some books out here. I'm really sorry for the pauses, guys. Really sorry. So after 1992, after the Vril project came out, there's been, like I said, various speculations of what the Vril Society was. I've got one book here called, and this is really rare. So I've actually got two parts of this. This is obviously in German. books. Yeah, okay. So this one here by Brad Harris called The Dark Side of the Moon, Part 1. This was one of the most expensive books I bought on German flying saucers. And it has like the How Naboo, and it also mentions about Vril and stuff like that. And it started to accentualize the stories with a lot of added bullshit into it. All right. This is what I mean when you go back to the original publications, you understand that side of the story, and then anything after that, you know, it's just all been faked. You know, even the date of Maria Orsic is faked. Like that was made up by someone. You know, there is no date of Maria Orsic anywhere in any publications. So that's one of them there. That was from 1996. This is another one here, another controversial book by Dan Van Helsing called Secret Societies and the Power in the 20th Century. This is the German version. It's actually banned in Germany. And this came out in 1996 as well. Again, popularizing the Vril Society with Maria Orsic and the anti-gravity flying saucers. Typical example, like right here. So everything is there in this book. And then the internet came along and fucked everything up. But books still fuck things up because now we've got Maria Orsic with Nikola Tesla. It's fantastic, isn't it? You know how much bullshit gets with that. So now Nikola Tesla apparently knew Maria Orsic. Yes, they were actually like talking to each other. It's what this. Welcome to Ufology, guys. Yeah. So this is a book. If you read this book, take it with none of it's true. Put it this way. So this is called Maria Orsic, Nikola Tesla, and their extraterrestrial messages, the occult and UFOs Part 1. Right. First of all, Maria Orsic never existed. Okay. And everything in this book is absolutely full of BS. I mean, I've never seen a book with less facts than anything. I've talked about Joseph Andreas Epp. He's the guy that created the Omega disc. That was the turbine-driven. It was like a circular disc that had individual fans going around it. He built it in the 1950s. But apparently to this book, he was part of the Vril Society, and he mentions about Maria Orsic in here, even though he never mentions Maria Orsic. So again, more bullshit claims. This is the problem with ufology, and this is the problem when you talk about German flying saucers. Again, we've got her 7 sisters. Look at it. I mean, this is fake. This is fake stuff. This is not convincing stuff. And the fact there is no public record of Maria Orsic or her 7 sisters anywhere in German archives, as you've seen Tino Struckman talk about that there, I'm finding it very hard to believe this story, because if the Germans did have anti-gravity flying saucers, they would have used it and would have had at least, yes, we have reports of flying discs and flying saucers, but it could have been the flying discs that were created by what we're talking about in Part 1. Not necessarily the anti-gravity side. We're talking about the turbine-driven aircraft. So I don't know with this story. Let's bring up that photograph, because yeah, I just don't know what to do with this, to be honest with you. It's so wackadoo with trust me, bros, and the worst kind of evidence. There is no evidence whatsoever. Sketches, crappy photographs that are blurry. The whole concept seems like it was made up. Who invented her? That was Norbert Jorgen Rathofer and Ralph Ethel. So Steve, like I said, you can't see any mention of Maria Orsic anywhere before 1992. She's the only mention of her first is in this book here, Das Vril Project, and I've looked into that. Again, I showed the photograph of her, like the first sketch photograph of her. But at the moment, I got to stick to my guns and say, I think it's pretty much done and dusted for me to say, look, the Germans, if the Germans built anything anti-gravity, it would have been the Bell Project, because there is some sort of documents to actually back that up and some sort of science aspect to actually back that up. And we need to talk about the technology side in another episode, because we did Part 1 and we need to do a Part 2 as a follow-up. Foo Fighters, I'm a bit skeptical about. It could be radar systems, given plasma balls in the sky. Oh, I'm fucking sick and tired of plasma and orbs and gay shit like that. And obviously the anti-gravity side of the flying saucers, I think, is very dubious because, like I said, they would have used it during the war. If they had that technology back in 1941, even in 1943 with the Haunebu 2, they would have used it. There's no sign of Maria Orsic anywhere in any National Archives. And to say that, well, it was all scrubbed during the war is just an excuse. So I am saying this right now. Maria Orsic simply does not exist. She was a made-up concept back in 1992 by Norbert Jorgen Rathofer and Ralph Ettel. They co-written 2 documentaries as well, and before then there is no mention of her anywhere. And I just have to be honest now. And the amount of I went to a conference and someone, this like grown man, he must be in his 50s, he stunk of BO, and he was like talking about Maria Orsic, just like clearly got a raging boner for her. Oh yeah, there's Vril Society. Yeah, I was like, but where do these stories come from? Oh, don't worry about that. You know, there's plenty of photographs of her. I'm like, yeah, but these photographs look doctored. Oh yeah, one of them must be real anyway. It's like, well, look, you're not thinking. You got a brain. Let it use it, for Christ's sake. You know, it's just these people are just believing in anything. And this is where I had to step out my echo chamber and stop trying to please a community, a bit like I did with the chemtrail community. You know, so yeah, everything's sprayed. It's like, no, it's not. It's not. Sometimes you are being played, and sometimes you got to have the person to be honest and step up and say, look, I've done my research. I am not coming forward, guys, and saying, well, I've just done 5 minutes of research. I literally put a whole presentation together to give you a whole timeline and an aspect of this. And this is through the hardcore research and publications of books I've bought over the past flipping 10 years, probably even more than that now. So I know this conspiracy on like the back of my hand. And until I get proper proof, proper clarification that Maria Orsic actually exists, a documentation of a birth certificate, even a real photograph, that's not a photograph from 1920s. I'm sorry, just no, I'm not buying that. Until then, she simply, stamp of approval, does not exist. And the people that say that she does exist, they're clearly lying to you and they have not done research. Not naming or shaming, but I know especially one of them, especially the people that wear the Vril logo. You know, I'll show you here. I find it absolutely hilarious. That symbol. You have seen that symbol? It's made up. It's literally made up. I cannot find that symbol anywhere going back through decades of historical records in like German archives, which a lot of it is online. I did like an image search of this, and there's no public record of this anywhere before 1992, which obviously came from this book over here. Right, is there anything else? Yes, there's one more video, my dears. One more video I want to show you, because it shows you how a lot of people in ufology are just riding the grift. If anybody has any information on Maria Orsic beforehand, because listen, guys, I'm going to be absolutely honest. If anybody has any information, proper documentation, and don't say it, you must give me documentation, at least something to say that I'm actually wrong, go ahead. I'll be more than happy to look into it. I'm more than happy to correct myself and say, do you know what? I'm wrong. I can actually back it up with at least something. But at the time being, research that I have done and going by the historians like Peter Lavender and Tino Struckman, there is no public record. But again, there were societies back in the 1919 in Munich and Germany at that time. But Vril Society and even Maria Orsic, excuse me, I'm not too sure. I'm really not too sure anymore. What's happening in ufology? It's the same thing going around, mate. Honestly, I'm going to be honest. I do talk about sort of up-to-date ufology, but there's so many other channels that cover it. I'm just like, well, we're not going to get any truth about anything. It doesn't matter if it's the bugosphere. Someone called me retarded for not believing in Heidi Musan. It's like, yeah, I'm supposed to believe a guy who's literally been caught faking UFO sightings for the past 20 years. And I'm supposed to be like, oh, no, but he got this one right this time. It's like, oh, please. It's like a relationship. It's like a relationship. After someone lies so much, you go, well, I just don't believe him anymore. No, you get together, but you'll still lie. You'll still lie. Hey, John P. Adventures. Nice to see you, brother. Welcome on in, man. Welcome on in. So, this guy, let's have, not John. We're going to look at this guy right here. His name is William Tompkins. And this is from Project Camelot. I'm pretty sure I might get copyright, but I just don't really care anymore.
U.S. Navy secret space operators who have been operating. So I think the easiest way to just start this is to go back to 1942. Actually, for whatever reason, I was selected by some people in the Navy, Naval Intelligence, to essentially be U.S. Navy in Germany, who was contacted by Nordic people.
Okay, sorry. Right, this is it. Because he talks about Vril.
Complicated agreement between the SS.
Right, so William Tompkins is what I call a fantastic storyteller, okay? He's going to talk about Maria Orsic and how he knew what was the plan at
and the Draco reptilian group who were assisting Germany.
All right, okay, this is important. So now we've got reptilians and Nordics being part. It wasn't even mentioned in the Vril project in 1992, but now we've got extraterrestrials and Nordic aliens. Just to go back a little bit so we can hear more bullshit.
Between the SS and space operators who have been operating in Germany, trying to understand the tremendously complicated agreement between the SS and the Draco reptilian group who were assisting Germany. So this had actually gotten started much earlier
$100.
With a very lovely young lady in Germany who was contacted by Nordic people.
And she had massive tits and a big ass. That's what you want to say, William, isn't it? You dirty old man.
To essentially get her friends to develop the necessary requirements to build a large space transport, get their friends and the family to join into this, and essentially leave the planet and go to another star's planetary system.
And this is Maria Orsic.
That's correct. And so she actually was doing this from like the late 20s, 1930s. And it ended up in the studies that I got involved in with the information from the operatives Navy operatives coming back from Germany into Admiral Ricobata's secret conference room at the top building, Naval Air Station San Diego. He's commander, Naval Air Station San Diego, but he has a hobby, okay? And this hobby is roughly 28, 29 naval operatives who in 1942 and possibly early in 41 were continually going back to Germany and studying all over the different research organizations what it was that the agreement had actually been made with Hitler, the SS, and the Draco reptilian people.
Oh my God.
Okay, but if this is happening in 41 or 42, the war is not over.
The war's still on. But this young lady that we're talking about had been contacted by Nordic people.
We do.
To help her get an organization together with a great deal of extraterrestrial assistance to design a propulsion system, design a vehicle large enough to carry 40, 50,000 people, get in this vehicle and leave the planet. Now, the SS was not...
Look, you understand, just... I'm going to be honest, just this regurgitated horseshit of just trust me, bros, and just like, look, you are talking about someone who does not exist. You are literally riding off the grift of what is coming off the internet. But I mean, the amount of, go type in Maria Orsic and Vril. I tell you what, fuck it. I don't know. I can't listen to this guy anymore. I just can't. It just really it pees me off to no end. It's the amount of information that has been put forward in so-called the truth community, the alternative movement. It's like, guys, you just need to do a bit of research. You know, we have something called the internet. Oh my God, the internet. What's that? Wow, you can research anything. It's fantastic. It's brilliant. Right. I'm sorry to be this person. I really am. It's just, I find it frustrating where people say to me, oh, you need to do more research. It's like, fuck you talking about? Like, you haven't bought a book or done any like research into anything. But you can see here the amount of photographs of her. And I guarantee every single one of these websites is going to say something different about her. Maria Orsic bio. Look, it's just a lot of horseshit, man, on the internet. Reincarnated Maria Orsic. It's like, do you see what I mean? Just like videos like this. Horrendously frustrating. Again, Nikola Tesla and Maria Orsic. Oh, yeah. Look, I hate to be that guy. I want to be positive, but I just have to tell you the truth. It's just very tiresome and just woo-woo stories that really lead to nowhere. It's just blonde hair, blue-eyed woman with gorgeous features with massive tits and ass. It just sells, man. It sells boners. I tell you what sells boners. Watch this. This came to my attention not long ago. Hold on. I'm going to show you something. I guarantee a man made this. Ready? Yes. This is a form of the Vril Society. Now, you tell me that isn't there to sell boners. I did actually use that as part of the thumbnail, hoping I can actually get some fucking views. There we go, guys. This is Vril with a gorgeous... Do you know what? I'm not a big titty person. You know, I've got like medium... Oh, shut up. Just shut up, Nick. Just shut up. Just... Yeah, but this is what I mean. What I'm talking about. It's there to... Look, if a man was on the flipping internet and he saw that as a thumbnail, he's going to click on it. And all the men in chat, do not deny that. You would this is why I add it as a thumbnail. And even the women too. Be right back, toilet time. Oh, fair enough. I need a 420 after all this nonsense. So yeah, the Vril Society. It's an organization that cannot be proved. Vril itself can be traced back through the 18th century of how to actually power flying machines through Edward Buell-Leitensburg all the way back to the 1897. Okay, that whole concept of real energy. And where is real energy these days? Where is real energy? Who's using real energy to power things these days? You know what I mean? 50-50 on her. Nick, what year was that video from? Or the Project Camelot one? 2016, according to this description. I'm just going to double check that one on. Yes, 2016, that video. If that was the video that I showed you with William Tompkins, yeah, that's it, mate. 2016 Project Camelot, which I think they're stopped doing now. Anyway, so women have a romantic novel, men have sexy UFO distractions. The way it seems, aka spicy side. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, it's playing on the man's ability to get boners, isn't it? When you look at it, sex sells, guys. This is why Bonnie Blue is up there. This is why she's making the money and you're not, because she has a set of tits, and she's not that great looking. I'm more of a Lily Phillips than Bonnie Blue. Bonnie Blue is just like it's like a cave, isn't it? When you shout into a vagina, it's like echo, 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 echo. Right. So okay, let's just do an overall conclusion of today. I think I just talked about that. So yeah, Vril talked about the life force, using it as an energy field to power machines, can trace back to 1897 to the book The Coming of the Race, and you can trace that all the way back to the 20s to the 1930s of using Vril as the mystical force. The Vril Society came out in the book The Morning of the Magicians, that came out in 1960, and then moved forward to 1992 was where Maria Orsic and the ever expansion of the Vril Society as the Seven Psychic Sisters with Maria Orsic, which was the birthplace of herself. And it's just go on the internet and find out where it's been since. All right. So this is where we are basically now with Vril Society and Maria Orsic. Mate, I don't know what to say. I think it's all pretty much, wait for it, fake and gay. Yes. Someone says that, but I'm not that, actually, not fake and gay. The whole subject, I think it's pretty much fake and gay. Like, guys, look, where is Vril being taught now? Where is the historical record of even her seven sisters? Who's using Vril to power flying machines now? Even like heal energy. Do you understand? It's just, hey, Mark. Did I say hello to Mark? I might have missed you, mate, but hello. Welcome to the show. So yeah, that's it, man. That is my overall perspective on this subject. I just find it too woo, lack of evidence, a lot of crappy blueprints and shitty photographs that really lead to nothing, that can easily be faked. It's a fantastic subject to go into. And I have to admit, Nazi UFOs is probably one of the most wackiest conspiracies to actually go into, look into ufology. And I've done the best that I can to get the information through the publications. And I don't do a lot, over the years, there's not a lot of internet research. It's all based upon my books, going back to the original source and then putting a timeline together. And this whole aspect of Vril Society, Maria Orsic, and even Hannah Boone Vril is, I pretty much fake. I'm going to be honest. But you can say, well, there's actually documentations from the CIA and FBI that state from prisoners of war, Jewish prisoners of war that immigrated to America, said that they saw flying discs in Germany. And it makes you think, oh, okay, well, they've seen flying discs. But if you go back to part 1 of Nazi flying saucers or Nazi UFOs, you can see we're talking about the turbine-driven aircraft that were created by Rudolf Schriever, Otto Hobbenmoor, Giuseppe Belluzzo, and Richard Muthey, which were the turbine-driven aircraft. So they could have seen that, not necessarily anti-gravity flying saucers. But this ain't going to be the last time I'm going to be talking about Maria Orsic and the Vril Society. But I hope that everything made sense. Yes, all the way back to 1871. Did I say 1973? 1873? I can't remember. But yeah, long time, over 100 years. Bonnie Blue is baggy as a clown sleeve, maybe. Oh, mate. I could talk to death on Bonnie Blue. I just find it fascinating how it's more or less like socially acceptable. I mean that loosely when I say that, like her vagina. Very loosely, even though she was actually kicked off OnlyFans because she wanted to be in a glass cage for 24 hours and have men do whatever they want to her. And even for OnlyFans, we're like, yeah, you're crossing the line here, honey. We need to like not do that because, when you say you could do anything to her, I'm like, that's a recipe for disaster. you know, because there are men that out there that are extremely aggressive and doing that for 24 hours. I just don't get it, man. I just don't just fucking get married and just be happy for once. She's probably happy getting boned. That's why she's doing it. And she's making money from it. I'm not jealous. Not jealous. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on from Vril, and I hope everything made sense. I hope. It's only acceptable because people are disturbed. I said to my nan about Bonnie Blue. She's like, "Eh?" It's like, "Nan, have you heard of like OnlyFans?" Like, "Eh?" It's like, "Yeah, like my sister could be on it." And she's like, "Eh? You joking?" It's like, "Yeah. She's like, bloody flipping clueless." But in terms of, is it being acceptable to the normal people like me and you? We're like, no, this is not acceptable. You know, it is a form of prostitution, but you're also losing your dignity at the same time. When you're getting millions of pounds, I mean, she was getting a lot of money, Bonnie Blue, so she's probably wording it for what it's worth. Pun intended, by the way. So yeah, loads make a ton of money. This is it. It's easy for them to do. You know, there's two girls I know. They're actually friends of mine. I'm not actually looking, but they told me they're escorts. It's like, why do you want to fucking do that? You know, I think they just enjoy sex and they get money from it, which is fine. Do you? It doesn't bother me. It is a business. It is a business that has detrimental effects, like herpes and chlamydia and cum in the eye, which stings, by the way. Oh, shit. Should we go back to Maria Orsic? Anyway, so yeah, it's such a strange time we're living in. It's like a dystopian nightmare, and I don't know what the hell is coming around the corner. I really don't. Loads of videos as well. I haven't looked. I haven't even flipping looked. Side profile of B2 bomber. Seen it before. You've okay, that's interesting. Let's change the subject to UFOs, not Bonnie Blue. Right, what have I got on the cards here? Oh, by the way, I was going to show you something. Is this Stephen Greer's flare footage? I'm so sorry.
Wow. Let's invite them to come as close as they can. Safely.
Is that the flare
Need a
footage?
time mark.
Hold on, put it bigger.
Cam, time?
9:15.
9:15. So the mark time.
9:15. 9:15.
Did I say that right?
Oh, that's
hey,
gone into
Cat's
the
Spunk.
ocean.
Hey, how's
See
it
what it
going,
said?
man? Nice to see you.
Okay.
Is that right?
There is still an object
I'm just going to
there.
call you Cats.
Very
Welcome on
faint
in.
I can
Welcome
see
on in.
with the night
Nice to see you.
scope. Right here.
Yeah, that's where.
I
Recording.
thought this might have been the flare footage.
Now, the way that you know that that's not like something like a
No,
flare.
I
First
haven't,
of all,
mate.
there's
No. It was a
They
bit
didn't shoot
meh.
up and then
No.
come
I'll give it a
down.
go anyway. Oh, let's go back. Let's go back. I
First
thought.
thing that has to be understood. Them
Oh,
here.
shut up.
Oh, they're so
They're-
beautiful.
They were waiting for us to arrive.
Whoa.
Jacques, please photograph.
Yeah,
All cameras should be filming. So connect to them in your consciousness and invite them here. These are the golden ones I talked about. See how gold? Because the horizon is only 7 to 10 miles, depending on the conditions. So it's probably a couple
I don't know, guys. Is that too bright for a flare? It popped up on my feed on YouTube, and I come across it. I was like, not too sure.
miles. Everybody see
Wow.
them?
Yeah, this is Greer we're
Yeah,
talking about
they're
here.
so beautiful.
Let's welcome their beings on board to join us in meditation.
All right, Maria, calm down.
That is such a beautiful color. So you'll never forget that color. Yeah, this is a major event.
Yes. Build it up,
So we're
Stephen.
grateful.
You want to get
So
these
open
people's
your
money's worth.
heart chakra and send them the beauty of humanity. And if you can see what I'm doing, you connect with your palms out like this, and your third eye and your heart, making like a tetrahedron radiating our pureness
Jesus.
and love towards them.
What a load of bollocks. It's like flipping Kamala Harris, like tossing word salad.
They emerge from the sky, but they're very, very close to the ocean. They're just hovering. They're not.
Whoever's just right in front of the yellow kind of blue jacket, your head's. No. Yeah, you just kind of went to go down. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna move.
We should be filming.
I am filming, but just trying to avoid.
Those in front, if you can get on your knees or sit on the ground and look in front of your chairs, but stay low. Thank you.
I do apologise for showing you that. I think this is probably flares. Gonna be honest. Yeah, Stephen Greer. The thing is like when that guy told me that I was a retard for not believing in hiding your sign, it's like, look, this is the guy that's fake stuff. This is the guy that, yes, he's most probably riding a grift. Most obviously with spending the ability of what is it, $5,000 or even like 10 grand on CE5 flipping events. Yeah, please. And where's the results? Where are the flipping results? Nowhere. Get on your knees. I thought you were that as well, mate. Right. Okay. We got an hour coming into it. Okay, we're going to keep this a nice, easy and short one. Let's bring up Twitter. Let's do this. What have I got on bookmark? Oh, what is that? Yeah, Marina Serene. She's a very controversial figure. And we'll move away from that. Right, I know I said no you said the word chem talk. This here, obviously with that person, the concerned citizen, we're very skeptical. There has been some Freedom of Information Act in regards of something called CCT, Cirrus cloud thinning, which I've talked to death about on my Cosmic Twilight channel when I did the trial analysis. Go check it out. I'm not going to talk about it now, but it's very, very interesting, and there are some documentations to prove that. This is obviously Bill William Tompkins talking about more fake stuff. Oh, do I have anything I can actually show? There we go. There's one for UFO Mania. Yeah, I know Hidden bashes him, but there are some pretty good photographs and videos on there. Oh, do you know what? I don't think I have anything. There's no UFO stuff. Oh yeah, this bloody typical, isn't it? With this one here, how unusual is the UK heat and its climate change to blame? This is it. It's so much like fear. It was hot for what? It reached 30 degrees for what? One day, and the rest of the days has been like 23, 25. Perfectly normal for England. But again, BBC doing nothing again. I thought this was pretty cool.
What is happening?
I'm a big fan of tornadoes, by the way. Check this out.
Oh my gosh, look at it wind. Oh my. For you. Oh my gosh. What? How is it moving like that?
Crazy, isn't it?
Dude, what is happening?
I would love to go to America and watch these tornadoes, but at the same time, you got to deal with like destruction of houses, which is this like the dark side of tornado chases, isn't it? You know, because you are expected to get some sort of destruction in its wake. But how can people live in that area in Tornado Alley? It's pretty crazy. I'm just trying to find if I've got anything else I can actually play, guys. I've got to keep this one short because I've got to be up early. Oh yeah, this I've got to show you this. This is on Facebook. Any martial artist out there, please tell me whether or not this is fake and gay. Right, hold on. Let's just put that off. Right, this guy uses something called like key energy, but I'm going this. I think this guy's taking a piss. Oh, I've left fake and gay up. Damn it. God damn it. Right. Let's have a look. Check this out. So this is called Wing Hyung How to Punch Heavy. Wait a sec.
这样打拳，你虽然用了很多力，但拳不够重。那什么样的拳才算是重拳呢？
Chicken chow mein, please, mate. Number 23. I can say that to his face.
但这也不算是。
Just watch his punch.
说可以用转体来发
Is this fake?
这是转马冲拳，力量明显大于上一，但也不算是最重的拳。
Thank you. I'll have the crispy aromatic duck. Thank you.
那么利用步伐发拳。
Sorry, but hold on. Go back.
那么利用步伐发拳。这是金马。
Look, I suppose he did step forward and uses his body weight. Watch.
这是金马冲拳，步伐的确能带来更大的冲击力。再来看一下另一种步伐带来的效果。
Let's go back. Hold on.
这是标马冲拳，是一种更重的拳，但实际的应用并不是只看力量的大小。下一期的作品，我们一起来看一下冲拳应用的五大要素。
If I was there, I'll be nodding like yes, yes, sensei, yes. Where do I get my spring rolls? I don't know, man. I think that is fake. I don't know. He did run up to it though. I don't know. Let's get back to chat. Chat, what do you think? Yeah, the follow through. Also, yeah, the thing is, once you put your body weight into it, and it doesn't matter how big or small you are, you can still pack a punch if you hit that right. Look, I've seen a lot of martial art videos online, and the ego that comes from these people, it's absolutely, you can just tell this guy's Chinese, so I don't know, but I know. Hey, Moody, faking great. These are CCP propaganda videos. That's what I thought, mate. They do loads of these on YouTube. Plus, look how lame the students are. Judge a teacher on them. Yeah, this is what I thought, mate. This is exactly what I thought. I honestly, I see a lot of these videos, especially I do a lot of like weightlifting and stuff like that, and the amount of people says no, you got to do this, you got to do this technique, and then another person would be like no, you need to do this. It's like, but they've got such egos over it. Watch this punch again. Hata. Yeah. Anyway, okay, I got to stop because I'm going to make more Chinese accents. I'm not going to apologize. I find it funny. Should he walk? Let me take an order, please. It's just a center of balance and fake. Yeah. My boxing teachers, my boot camp teacher can fucking pack up the power behind him, but he would use his body weight, which is that's one thing I've learned through boxing, but not enough for the guy to fly with the pad. You know, for me, it's nonsensical. You wouldn't do that in a street fight. You know, but I just found that fake, to be honest with you. It's got a happy Gilmer trilogy. Oh, it's Cellophone. Oh, nice to see you, man. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. So yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I think that was most probably Steven Seagal syndrome. Yeah, the big I am. I used to love Steven Seagal movies back in the day, but even like Jackie Chan movies. Even Jackie Chan movies. Sorry, guys, I'm going to skip through chat for a little bit. So, yeah, I do apologize. Fake. Mark G, I think I agree with you on that one. Oh, my God. I trained also with Brian Nelson. Who's Brian Nelson? Look at the students doing chi. Is that some sort of Chinese thing, mate? Chinese takeaway. You are just going through the emotions, not actually doing... She. I know that. Okay. Wing Chun. Okay, those are not Chinese takeaway names. They're actually types of martial arts of kung fu. I would imagine. Oh man, it's brilliant. Oh, mate, I'm 420. What do you expect? You know me, I can't read. Read the text. All right, hold on. I am not reading. No, I think he needs to go back and read all the chat, but there's no chance. Fuck that, mate. I'm. When I've done my presentation 420, that's it. You know, like I said, guys, I do apologize for my lack of reading skills. The 35 people watching this, yeah, I do apologize. Right, have I got anything else? Oh, there's one more thing I found quite interesting. Check this out. Probably lens flare. One could say it's the... Oh, these looks like bugs to me. But it's that, isn't it? Those are definitely bugs being picked up on the... Looks like a doorbell cam. But that there. Huh, interesting. Yeah, those are definitely bugs. That's weird, isn't it? Huh. Yeah, chat, what do you think about that? Oh, you do jujitsu. I know that word, I just can't say it. Oh, that's awesome. I actually do karate. I've been doing it for about 20 years. I stopped doing it since doing Alien Addict. But yeah, it's good. I like doing boxing as well. Boxing is pretty good. So I think that's it, guys. I think that's it. I don't think I've got anything else. Let's just go through my inventory. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, right. I think I did end the show there, guys. I know it's a bit short. Coming close to about 2 hours. Oh, you just put the comment again. Did you put the comment again? You did, didn't you? Right, let me read it. Nick. Chi is a way of is a way of Wing Chun. People practice techniques and get hand-arm sensitivity. Ah, right, okay. I prefer doing boxing, Tai Chi boxing, and judo with a touch of catch wrestling. Jiu-jitsu is good though. All right, Moody. So you do martial arts then? That's interesting. Hey, jamming music man, how's it going, man? Nice to see you. I'm unfortunately going to be ending the show soon, mate. But oh, yes, I know, mate. I just clocked that. Don't worry. But I didn't realize you do martial arts. And same with you, Rebecca. It's a good skill to learn. The one I used to do in karate, it's more of a like self-defense based. That's why I'm ending the show, mate, because I'm reading the comments really badly. But the karate that I dealt with was more like self-defense. So you'll put a realistic situation, and then because any Tom, Dick, and Harry can punch, but it's how they punch compared to a karate person would punch, basically. And I found that quite interesting, how to sort of deal with the situation, because anyone can bloody hit anybody, but that self-defense is quite, especially like grappling and stuff like that, which is more judo-based martial art, I believe. But anyway, right, I'm going to end the show now because I have to force to read, and I'm reading really badly at the moment. So yes, Hammer, I don't blame you, buddy. Sorry, off to bed. Thanks, Nick, in the chat for another great show. Stay safe and keep smiling. I'm smiling. I'm reading very badly, so that's why I'm ending the show. But yeah, have a good night, S. Hammer. So yeah, guys, say goodbyes now, and yeah, we'll just go through chat one more time. Good night, Anne Woodward. Nice to be in here. And I hope everything made sense. I'd like the reading. And this is another episode of German flying saucers or German UFOs. So going forward, I want to do more technical side on the Bell project, which is Die Glocke. Want to do one on Foo Fighters as well. So I think we're pretty much coming to the end of the part. So next week, I'd quite like to get Hidden back on, to be honest with you. But sometimes on Fridays, he spends the time with his daughter, which is absolutely fine. But I quite enjoy 420 with Hidden talking shit. So, yeah, next week I'm not too sure what I'm gonna be doing. We'll see. We'll see. Does anyone know Arthur C. Clarke? I think he got a UFO documentary, like a quick documentary he made back in the day. Quite want to look at, because remember, guys, you know, even though I do delve with up to date stuff in ufology, I like to go back to like old cases, like the old school style cases. I find it quite interesting. So, right, let's do this. Rebecca, thanks for being here, darling. Nice to see you. Sheep Hop Pop. Edward Ward. I trained with Brian in Buckley, Wrexham. All right, that's interesting. Oh, look at that. Small world, if that was to be. Godstopper, Rebecca said you once before. Jamming Music Man, Lionheart, Dan Peters, Science Evidence Fringe, Edward Ward, and One True Saxon. Right, that's it. Guys, I shall see you next week for another episode of Alien Addict. So until next time, always remember, they're watching you, watching us, watching them. I'll see you next week. Homework for during the week. I promise I will work on my reading skills. I don't like being under pressure. Anyway, have a good weekend, guys, and I'll see you next Friday. So yeah.